final boarding call for all remaining passengers. Please now make your way to the gate. The podcast is about to begin.
Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Travel. This week we are joined by Gary Speirs from APT River Cruise, and really excited to have a conversation around River Cruise. It's a pretty new concept. Well, it's not a new concept, it's becoming a really popular concept, and that's what I've found in my own business over the last few years. So absolutely delighted. Welcome to the show, Gary.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. How exciting.
I know.
You're a little bit away from West Kilbride, aren't you? A couple of miles away in the middle of nowhere.
Thing is with Ayrshire, we're in, for those who want to know where our podcast studio is, we're in just outside Prestwick, and people always think Ayrshire is such a tiny place, but actually I'm quicker sometimes going to Glasgow than I am coming to places in Ayrshire. And I'm making sure I use the word Ayrshire and not Ayrshire.
Yeah, because you're a local, remember?
Yes, I want to be a local.
Yeah, because we just spoke about our history growing up in Glasgow. So
I know, we're both Southsiders. Yeah. There's a few years difference between us though.
But I don't want to agree there. That's terrible. That's shocking.
So yeah, it's good to have a fellow Glaswegian on.
It's great to be on. Great setup. Really impressed.
Yeah.
You know, and I love the concept of the podcast. So it'll be great for your clients as well and your listeners.
It's for everybody really, not just for clients, for other travel professionals as well. Just having conversations around what is a fantastic industry. How many years have you worked in the travel industry, Gary?
Well, when you compare to the veterans in this industry who are 30, 40 years plus, I would say that I'm
one of those.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm new. I'm going on 14 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's long enough to understand it. And my career started off in Barhead Travel. So I was working in Barhead Travel. I was a young apprentice back then.
So did you start as an apprentice?
I started as an apprentice. So yeah, I made the teas and coffees.
Great place to start.
It was, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Started from the ground up, worked my way up, and it was interesting. I think, as I say, making the teas and coffees, stampping the brochures, putting the stickers on.
Stickers and brochures, there's a thing.
Promoted to door duty, standing for an hour, 2 hours, welcoming customers in. Did
you work in the main one in Glasgow then? The
head office. Head office. So that was a nice place to work. Yeah, so it was good. And I was there for about 11 years, and through that time I worked my way up in the business, various jobs, various roles. Always cruise though, always been involved in cruise. Started in marketing, looked after various cruise lines. Some's already been on your show, and that was fun. Marketing's fun. Looking after campaigns. I mean, we're selling holidays at the end of the day, so
what's not to love?
It's been great. And following a restructure within the company in 2017, I was introduced to the world of business development, and that was my niche. That's what I liked. I liked the numbers and the figures and the stats and all that fun stuff. So I was challenged with looking after the river cruise market, challenged to grow that sector within the company, and I did that for around 7 years. So I've been involved in river cruise mainly for 7 years.
So you're not new to river cruise?
I'm not new. Yeah, I've been on all the ships. I've sailed many rivers, and I think that's what's great about travel, right? You get to experience all these great destinations, and it's a good industry to be in. I think for me it's the people. Worked alongside some great leaders. You learn a lot off them, and that's what keeps you going. You're always learning in this great industry. So
no 2 days are ever the same.
No 2 days are the same.
And every day is a school day. I mean, I've been doing this job. I'm one of those veterans, sadly. That I'm nearly 4 decades in the industry, which is absolutely nuts. But literally every day is a school day.
It's all different.
And as I'm working with my staff and training staff, I'll say you never need to know all the answers. Just know where to find the answer.
100%.
The world is such a massive place. You just couldn't know all the ansans.
No, it's there's a lot to learn. Business development, especially river cruise, especially because it was fairly new back then, and the growth is massive.
The growth is incredible. So obviously, having worked in the industry for so long, my view of River Cruise was always, and I'm going to change my view now because I've now done it, was it was the older market.
Yeah.
And whilst that is still perceived that is what it is, it's totally not now. And thanks to products like Travel Marvel, which we'll come on to talk about, which is part of the APT offering, younger people are doing it. It's a great experience. And I've been lucky enough to do quite a few rivers now. There's still a lot more out there, and I'm, definitely I will continue to use River Cruise as my own holiday because I really enjoy it. But tell us the difference between APT and Travel Marvel.
Yeah, so the good thing about the brand that we work for, APT, APT stands for Australian Pacific Touring. 95 years of experience.
A long time it's been around.
Yeah, so an Australian company, family owned and operated. It's a fantastic product, right?
Still family owned and operated.
Family owned, yeah, still family owned, run by the McGeary family. And it's a great product, fantastic. And the good thing about APT is we've got a travel style to suit every taste, pace and budget, right? So we've got the 5-star APT brand, so that's the parent company. Best of the best, right? That's what we're proud on. That's what we're proud to talk about. It's the 5-star luxury ships, 5-star hotels if customers are staying a pre or post night.
We've never ever had any complaints about an APT. In fact, none of your products, but APT, everybody loves it, and are always you exceed people's expectations.
It's an exceptional product, and we love to shout about it. It's the APT difference we shout about, going that extra mile. All right, delighting every detail, and we're
I think that's because you're family owned that you can do that.
Yeah, it's a smaller, it's a big company, but it's we're quite close together. We're well connected with the other markets. 100%. So from moving over there, Barhead's a very big company, and then moving into a smaller company, arguably in the UK, was quite a change. So I've been in APT for 18 months now. But the difference in the products is that luxury aspect versus the premium alternative, which is Travel Marvel. So it captures two different types of cruising styles. APT, as I say, it's perfect for that refined client. They want everything included within one price point. And then we boast about things like signature experiences, their private concerts in Vienna. It's private tours before it's open to the general public.
And are these kind of experiences that money can't buy? Type,
it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's experiences that are designed to enhance your time on board in a show. It's absolutely brilliant. And you've got more choice, so freedom of choice. You'll have a list of what you want to do when you're in certain destinations, depending on your styles, your interests. It could be cultural excursions, could be active, it could be historical. It's completely up to you. Culinary. And then you've got the Travel Marvel, which is very popular in the UK, right? We arguably sell more Travel Marvel than APT. APT is massive in Australia. And I think it's just the market that we're in. We love good value for money. Travel Marvel's get less included, lower price point, but it is packed full of value, right?
I was going to say, when you say less included, it includes quite a lot.
Yeah.
And what I love about the Travel Marvel ships is how modern they are and how contemporary.
Yeah.
And it's not what I ever thought a river cruise would look like.
Yeah, we're trying to raise the bar.
Yeah, I think you have.
Yeah, the ships are great. Listen, I've been on a lot of river ships, and they're all great products. This one stands out for how new it is. We boast having the youngest fleet in the market at the moment. That'll change eventually, but we can fly that flag. Our ships are new. They're modern, they're contemporary, as you say. Neutral colour palettes on board. They look really, really nice. And for the Travel Marvel brand, as I say, packed full of value, there is a lot included. But the difference is there's more flexibility in there. So if clients wants to go off, do their own thing,
which the younger market tend to want to do. So why would you include all the excursions when a young couple couldn't think of anything worse than going on a escorted tour? They want to just go off and
and it's their choice. It's all about choice. Now with Travel Marvel, with the 4-star return
it's
flights
hard to
included.
believe it's only 4-star because it looks 5-star.
We say 4-star. Ships are 5-star.
Yeah,
package is 4. Right.
Not that I've been on one of the ships. Just saying, no pressure.
Well, we need to change that.
I know.
We need to change that because you've been doing very well for us recently, and it's good to see you
product.
Learning more about the product as well. Concept of river cruising is great, but the two brands offer a distinct experience for clients based on what they want to do. So in terms of value for money, that's what River's all about, right? River cruising is a unique and relaxing way to see the most beautiful cities at an unhurried pace. That's the concept of river
That's
cruise.
a lovely way to put it, but it's exactly it. You know, you can literally just sit back, enjoy as you sail through Europe, and
Sailing through the heart of your
not that it's just
destination.
Europe that you go to, but mainly river cruising.
Europe's
in the UK.
popular. Europe's very popular.
What's the most popular river in Europe, would you say?
You've got three main rivers in Europe that we sort of look down. The Rhine, the Danube and the Douro. So the Rhine and the Danube, from a capacity perspective, very popular, right? 50-50, you know. They go side by side on popularity. And then you've got the Douro that has got less capacity on the river, smaller ships, but it sells out very quickly. So the demand for the Douro's there.
And that's Portugal.
And that's Portugal, yeah. So I always like to say that every river's got a theme. So you've got clients there that's never thought about river cruising, but a lot of them come from ocean, right? And I'm a cruise lover. I go on ocean holidays for my personal holidays. I like NCL, you know, so shout out to Kirsty and Helen. So I love the product and I go on many NCL cruises, but with work I'm on the river cruise, so it's always good to compare. And, you know, the first thing that stands out is the space. Okay, so clients sometimes now, they've done the Med, they've done the Caribbean, the Greek Isles, they want something a little bit different, and they've almost, you know, travelled to all these destinations. Going on with River, they've unlocked so many more, right? They understand the space. So you're on a ship, no more than 180 passengers on board, high staff to guest ratio, that value for money aspect. So you've got your return flights, overseas transfers, all your meals, drinks, daily excursions, even with Travel Marvel, they're included. You can do them if you want or not. Port charges, tip-in, all that stuff that adds up. So the value for money aspect is exceptional. And once they go on river, they don't tend to move back because
they just like to change river, and they like to do all the rivers.
They like to change river, so every river's got a theme, and it's good for them to experience the different types. For example, the Danube, great for classical music enthusiasts, right? Architectural lovers. So you've got stunning cities there: Budapest, Vienna, Bratislava. I mean, Vienna itself is the home of classical music, right? I'll tell you a story about Vienna in a second, but I went to a private concert there and it was absolutely brilliant, part of an excursion. So you're seeing a lot on the Danube. It's very popular. You're sailing by the Parliament building in Budapest.
And that particular vision of, you know, sailing past the Parliament building is quite iconic.
Brilliant.
When you look at River Cruise, every brochure's got that image.
Yeah, and it's lit up at night, so it's an illuminations cruise we do, 45 minutes, and we overnight in Budapest, so you can spend a lot of time there. So the Danube is very popular, and then you go to the Rhine. So the Rhine's very historic, right? Good for history buffs. There's a lot of Germanic towns and villages that were affected by the war. They'll learn about that. Castles around every bend. Stunning countryside as well, so a lot of countryside cruising in there. So and the Rhine can be quite scenic.
The beer as well, like, you know,
the beer's strong, right? I learned that one the hard way. I was on a cruise once, and we were cruising for quite some time, and we were on a lot of wine and beer on the ship, and we thought, we docked at 11 at night, and we thought, let's go out and just
sample
have a few beers.
Yeah.
I
don't remember coming back.
Linda, I think it was 2 half pints. They sell it in half pints, right? Because it's strong. So it's this blonde beer. It's lightly coloured. And I couldn't speak, you know. I couldn't speak. So I learned the beer was strong. I think it was about 13%. So that tipped me over the edge. But the Rhine is great. And then you've got the Douros, I say. And the Douro is just different, right? And I was on the Douro in November. I've been lucky to be in all the rivers that we're talking about here. But the Douro's different in a way that it's just relaxing, right? So you've got clients that maybe want to just chill out on a cruise, take in the scenery. If they're wine lovers, it's a perfect place for them because they'll learn a lot about the wine, the Quintas. But the Douro's stunning, you know, great views around every bend, valleys at either side, vineyards, a stone's throw away from you. And it's smaller ships again, so Rhine and Danube, you're about 180 passengers. The Douro, you're 120. Right. Okay. So the ships are smaller, and it's illegal to sail at night on the Douro. So it's too
There's a lot more restrictions in the Douro, which is why there's not as many ships as well.
Yeah.
So you do need to book early for the Douro. That's a top tip.
Stunning.
But I'm just going to talk about prices. Obviously, I'm throwing this in because I haven't said to you about this. But when you look at a price of what a typical 7-night river cruise would look like in the summer months, so you're talking about July, you know, the price, you can get it for a round on Travel Marvel for, under £2,000.
Yeah.
It's, if you compare what a land-based holiday, and I know I'll go on about this, but it's about trying to educate people that cruising is such good value for money, because you really don't spend any more money.
No.
Everything is included.
Yeah, and think of the experiences. Think of everything you're going to see.
You said, it's quite a natural progression for people to have come from ocean to then move over to river cruise. River cruise is also great for people who have never cruised and they don't like to cruise because they're scared they're going to be seasick. You're not going to be seasick in a river cruise because you've not got that. You've not got the ocean.
No, you don't. You don't have that, and it's good. It's good to mention that as well. Those that's been on ocean, they get that seasickness. You're not going to get that on river cruise.
I mean, seasickness isn't what it used to be because ships now are built in such a way that even I actually quite enjoy a little bit of movement on a cruise.
Send you to sleep.
I've got good sea legs. My dad was in the Navy, so I think I've definitely inherited his genes. So I personally, I don't mind a little bit of movement. Nothing's going to put me off my dinner. And I love a wee bit of movement to say to rock you to sleep. But on a river, there's not that. So if you are thinking, I can't go on a cruise because I might be seasick, you're not going to be seasick in a river cruise.
No, 100%. So, and that's a selling point in itself, right?
It is, yeah.
But adding all of those together, it's an exceptional way to travel, right?
And you see parts of Europe that you're not going to see on an ocean cruise, obviously, because you're right in the heart of Europe, whereas just by the sheer geography, you're not going to see that in an ocean cruise. Or if you are, you're going to have to travel an awful long way into the centre to see, but you're literally sailing through that.
It's a city break, right? And you're seeing all these cities along the way. Now you've got daily excursions led by local guides, so it's important that we say local. They know the place better than anyone else. So you've got that option to do that, and you'll still have free time at the end of it. And then you wake up in a new destination the following day. So
what's not to love? I mean, that's
not to love. There's experiences that you take in that obviously you've never done before. I'm very lucky to be in this job that we're in, and I've sailed the Rhine, sailed the Danube, the Douro, the Mekong. I've been as far as the Mekong, and you always learn something new along the way. For me, a learning point was in Vienna, the home of classical music, as I say, inspired by Strauss and Mozart, and that's where you get the Blue Danube waltz. And we had the choice. So with Travel Marvel, you have daily excursions, right? They're included as part of your package. But you also have an enhanced journey, right? You can pay a little bit extra for another excursion that's a little bit special. And one of those excursions was a private concert in Vienna. So during the day, we took a tour. We went through Vienna with the tour guide, and we saw that city, stunning place, very clean, palaces everywhere, right? And then that night, we had an early dinner for those that was on the tour, suited and booted, with our suits on, and all smartly dressed. And we went to this big palace in Vienna. Now, I don't listen to classical music a lot, right?
I bet you do now, though. More.
Yeah, I appreciate it more than that. I respect it more. I do enjoy
classical music.
Maybe if I'm like stressed out, I'll put something on. But I feel like classical music could be quite, I don't know, it's got that kind of aggressive approach, but then it's nice as well. But I was sitting in there, and we sat down, and the excursion was on for about an hour. And we sat down in this palace, stunning, absolutely stunning. And the show starts. It's a packed room, and I listened to it. First 5 minutes, I'm looking at my watch, and I'm like, Christ, I'm not going to. There's no way I'm going to last an hour. There is no way. And
but you didn't move in classical music,
Linda, I'll tell you something. I know you get transformed into a different world. What an experience. One of the best experiences. People get emotional beside you. You wonder, what are they thinking, right? It was absolutely brilliant.
Once you get into the zone.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm an Andre Rieu fan now.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
well, we had Amy from Newmarket on a few weeks ago, so she was talking about the Andre Rieu trip, so we'll get you in one of them.
It was brilliant, right? So, and I always say to customers, if they've got the chance to do it, do it. Especially with us, it was a surreal experience. So yeah, it's those experiences at work. It's those experiences.
Yeah, I think that's about just embracing what you're doing. You talked a little bit there about the mighty Mekong, and people think of river cruising, they do think of the Rhine, the Danube, but there's lots of other rivers out there. And if you are thinking of going further afield, then highly recommend. Now, I've not been lucky enough to do the Mekong yet, but I have done the Irrawaddy, which is in Myanmar. So quite a similar experience. It was life-changing. So you've done the Mekong, yeah?
I've done the Mekong 2018, a while ago, and I'll tell you,
Can we just tell people the Mekong would be kind of Cambodia, Vietnam
and Cambodia.
Is,
Yep. So
yeah.
you essentially fly out. Now with river cruising, we just operate in reverse, so the itinerary can be switched around. But for example, you can sail Amsterdam to Budapest or Budapest to Amsterdam. So the Mekong, you fly out to Ho Chi Minh City. We'll put clients up for a few nights in Ho Chi Minh, hotel stay. So if it's the APT, they're in a 5-star.
Which is a crazy place, but you've got to...
It's nuts, right? And you experience that hustle and bustle of the city, trying to cross a road, right? That's funny.
You just literally just have to pray, don't you?
You need to put your hand up and they just stop. It's great. It's part of the culture.
You just have to walk across the road.
Yeah, hope for the best. Everything you're taught not to do as a kid, you need to do it and just walk in front. So we
were talking about the Tufty Club before we come on this show. So for listeners of a certain age, look up the Tufty Club. So the Tufty Club rules go right out the window in Vietnam.
They do. So yeah, you need to hope for the best. But what an experience again in Ho Chi Minh. So you've got time to really explore there. You've got your excursions included again. And then you go on your Mekong cruise. So your Mekong's 7 nights and it sunsets every night, right? And you're really taking on that culture of all the places you visit, food markets, the smells, the sights. And then you finish off as you cruise into Cambodia. So rural village life, it's a stark contrast between Vietnam, right? And you sail to Siem, you go to Siem Reap, temples, of course. You go to Angkor Wat, you stay in a hotel in Siem Reap for 3 nights at the end. So you're getting a river cruise and hotel stay and a land based as well. Now the Mekong was great, and I think for me, what I came back with was an appreciation for what we've got in life. Because they've not got much over there, right? And they're living in mud huts along the river, and they've always got a smile on their face. They're so proud of the area that they live in, the local guys, the passion they have.
And their attitude of gratitude. I mean, honestly, it really puts us to shame, doesn't it?
It does, and you come back,
It changes you.
It does, but I absolutely love the Mekong. And if anyone is willing to take that trip across that part of the world, it's certainly for those culture vultures and once in a lifetime experiences, and then work your way back. You've got all time to do Europe, so if you can do it, go further afield. And
travel, these travel experiences. I know it sounds a bit of a cliche, but it does change you. The world is such a big place, and it's so accessible nowadays. Why not do it? Because it enhances the enhancement of your life after doing a trip like that is just...
Love it. I think cruising in general, why not do it, right? Ocean as well, and river. The market for rivers growing and growing and growing. It's the fastest growing sector.
And everybody's doing it now.
They're doing
but
it.
APT's been doing it for
We've been doing it for
time.
over 95. Well, we've been around 95 years. So we started as a touring company
in Australia,
and we branched out Canada and Alaska, New Zealand, and then eventually we branched out to river cruising in 2005. So we've been doing the river from 2005, and more customers now are starting to realise that value for money. Those new destinations that maybe they probably wouldn't go to unless it's part of a wider trip. And then agents like yourself, you're getting more confidence on selling it and learning more about it. We need to get you on one of your ships to see the difference. But I mentioned it earlier, it's that APT difference that we shout about. We're excellent rated on Trustpilot. We love clients coming back with a big smile on their face. And just raving about it.
Once people have done it, like we talked about it earlier, that they've done the Rhine, so they're going to want to do the Danube, and there's just something different every year for them.
Yeah.
It's
great, and we're everything small. So river aside, we've got the small ship, we've got the yachts in Croatia, and then we've got the touring. So the touring's a big part as well, and I must admit, I've always been involved in cruise, and when I moved to APT, I've never done a touring holiday before, or fam trip we call it, and travel familiarisation trip, and I was lucky to go to New Zealand.
I was watching your social media. It looked amazing.
That's probably one of the best places I've been in my life. It's God's country, heaven on earth, Scotland on steroids, right?
Oh really?
It's words can't really describe how good this place is, and it's uncrowded, right? So New Zealand is located in the South Pacific. It covers an area slightly larger than the UK, but with 60 million less people. How good is that? Right, that's right up my street. So it's got mountains, it's got glaciers, it's got waterfalls, it's got the national parks, wildlife everywhere. It's just got everything, fjords.
Your pictures looked amazing.
It's brilliant. So there's 2 islands. There's the north, which is that's where all your culture is, the Maori culture. We start our clients up in the Bay of Islands. It's home to 140 subtropical islands. So that's where you got all your marine life, your sandy beaches. Today. Yeah, it's brilliant.
And then you go back on to have a podcast on New Zealand.
In depth, I'd love it. And I did the South Islands, so that's more rugged, right? And that's like the Highlands up in Scotland, but times 10, right?
And of course, in New Zealand, I've got all the Scottish places as well.
Yeah, so you've got Dunedin, which is the Edinburgh, if you like. There's a lot of Scottish heritage over there, and I loved it. It was just surreal. We were hosting travel agents, Australian agents over there. None of them could understand a word I was saying, which was probably a good thing. But I spent a good amount of time there, and you get to understand the product, you understand the tour guides, they make sure that everything's looked after. So that's the concept of touring, right? So we know about river, sailing through the heart of a city. For touring, it's like you ever go on holiday and you're trying to plan out where to go and visit and try and see the must-sees.
You end up doing nothing because you get overwhelmed
and you end
by
up
it.
not doing it, and you fall out with your partner because you just can't get things done. So touring sort of takes that away, and it's with ease. So the tour guides are knowledgeable, and actually the drivers as well. They're part of this trip, and they bounce off each other. So it's a great experience. So yeah, I think the good thing about us, we're a one-stop shop, right? Yeah. Good for travel agents to sell into for your clients. We go everywhere.
Well, once you've got the client, they're going to come back, have a great experience. So what else can APT do for us? And as you say, the one-stop shop.
We go to many destinations, Canada and Alaska, Japan, South Africa, Sri Lanka. So the tours are big. And the good thing about us as well, because we're a touring company and river cruise operator, if you go to the Douro, for example, you can extend your stay.
Okay.
And you can spend some time in Seville, Porto, Madrid, Cordoba, extend your stay in that region for us up to 21 days. So our packages are quite extensive if they want to do that, so they can combine the cruise and the
land-based stay as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Gary.
Hope that's a snapshot.
Well, it is, and I keep saying this.
Is that 30 minutes already?
Just about, yeah. And the conversation's been great, so I keep saying this to my guests, there has to be part 2. Because it's just such a great product to talk about.
Looking forward to it.
So yeah, we'll get you back on in a few months' time, and you can inspire us more. We'll definitely have to have that New Zealand conversation for sure. But thanks so much for coming.
You're very
on.
welcome.
Really
Thanks for having me, and thanks for the heater next to me. It's very cold office in here. It's cold, but thank you.
No, I appreciate it. So that's another episode of Let's Talk About Travel. Have loved having Gary on the show, and he will be back for part 2 in a few months' time. So stay tuned.